Here we go. Because I watched the game.
Yeah, no,
4 for 4.
You're fully credited with that. I think we play the Niners next. So I'm going to need you again.
Luke is our good luck charm.
I'll do my best.
At least the Washington football team's good luck charm.
Yes.
But I consider you the fanboy good luck charm as well.
I would like to thank all of the Washington football team fans out there. I've watched 4 of your games this year, and they've won all 4. So there's that.
There is that. I think that's mathematically sound and completely accurate.
It's proven by science that I'm a good luck charm for the Washington football team.
So can
But in the meantime,
I'll invite you over and buy you lunch next game.
yes.
Food.
Sounds good.
Yes.
In the meantime, though, it's time to get back to what the fanboy.
Back to business.
Back
really.
to business. Yes, we are back in the business. What's up, everybody? I'm Luke. This is Mr. Tyler.
And this is the beautiful Brett Eitzen.
Cheers, fellas. It's water this week.
Boo. No, actually, yay, water's
You
good.
coward.
It's good for me. Hush you. But it's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Go for it.
No, I don't want to hurt you.
It itches so bad.
If you missed last week, Tyler had some shoulder surgery, so
Yeah,
we're,
I am.
Sling is over there.
Yeah, my sling is behind the camera. Actually, our honorary cameraman today.
yeah.
Don't get super excited about
Our special
I
guest.
will. My arm is under the table, so if I try to lift, I'll hit the table. So, what you guys been up to?
I did a few things.
I did not do a lot this week.
I did not do a lot either.
Yeah.
Well, first off, as usual, D2 weekly report, Luke.
I was gonna say that's majority of what I did this week was play Destiny.
Oh yeah, you did too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Luke and I, we did some raiding in the Deep Stone Crypt. We didn't get terribly far, but we were going in kind of semi-blind, so that was fun. First couple encounters, pretty good.
You gotta finish it tonight before the reset.
No.
I'd rather wait till the reset so I can just get that secret chest and that loot again.
Get 10 more of the little coin things that you need to use.
Dude, that is gonna take forever.
It's fine.
I'm never gonna get any of those guns. They need to make Legend of Acreus that if you have the prototype version, just give it to me. It's dumb. I did all the requirements.
Except the one.
Except one, and I can't take it off my character. I can't delete it. I can't move it to my vault. And if I use it, I have one shot.
We'll need to report that to Bungie.
It's so
I have
dumb.
the same issue. It drives me insane.
Like,
sorry, fellas. I'll hit up who I know, but they probably won't do anything about it. Sorry.
What are you good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
I am good.
As long as you embrace that.
I am really good at watching things on HBO.
Nice.
I watched 3 things this week. I watched a new series. It's called Heaven's Gate: The Cult of Cults. This was.
Ooh, you watched all of it.
I did 4 episodes. This is about the Heaven's Gate cult.
It's such a bizarre.
Very bizarre, very interesting documentary about it. I hadn't heard much about it other than the outcome and how kind of crazy it is. But it's really interesting. They do kind of a documentary style for obvious reasons. There's not really a lot of Heaven's Gate members around to ask about things. However, there are a couple who were not present when the exiting.
Yeah, when they went.
Did they all kill themselves?
Yes.
They were getting in the spaceship to.
Yeah. So this is the. This is. YouTube's probably gonna flag this for me mentioning this word 3 minutes into our stream. But so yeah, this is about the cult that it ended up being the largest mass suicide in United States history. Have those kind of issues, talk with someone, call someone. That I want to just lay that out there right away. Like, there's places to help you with those thoughts. In this case, the cults are a little different, and they're very weird, and how this cult kind of was formed and founded, and their belief system, where it all kind of draws from. It's really, really interesting. They do interview a number of either people who were a part of the cult and left, or were kind of a part of the cult but just didn't feel like doing this part of the cult thing, but they still believe in a lot of kind of the main teachings. There's a few of them still alive, so there's some very interesting interviews there.
No, I don't need a trailer. I'm gonna watch it.
But without getting too much into it, like it's a fanboy worthy for me. I thought this was a really well done 4 episodes that's really digestible. The first 2 are kind of like maybe a little bit slow paced, but the last 2 are really good as you get more and more into modern day, and because I think this happened in 97, I think. Is that right?
Sounds right.
1997. And so, but the movement, the group has roots all the way back in like the 70s and 80s. So, all that history is explored, and it's really very fascinating if you're into those kinds of things.
I always think of it as like a Far Cry game.
A little bit, yeah.
It's so strange.
Yeah, yeah. I'll let you, without saying anything more, because I don't want to ruin anything.
Yeah.
Just I gets a recommendation for me if you can handle those kinds of. And they really don't linger much on the death aspect of it at the very end. It's part of the story, and so it's mentioned a lot in the last episode, but up until that, it's a very interesting look at psychology and how people are wired and how people get in cults. I think a lot of times we think about people who get into cults as being either uneducated or easily manipulated, and the manipulation part is probably true, but cult leaders are very good at recruiting even people who are high intellect, and how just the tactics behind it. I've watched a couple of, as you probably know if you're listening, I've watched a couple of these documentaries this year about kind of cults, and it's just out of a morbid obsession.
Watch out for this guy. He's doing his research. He's gonna start a cult.
So, fanboy worthy. I recommend it. Another thing I watched, which Tyler, I'm not sure. Did you get around to watching The Mystery of D.B. Cooper yet?
I didn't. I'm trying to get Dana to watch it. I intend to watch it this week.
Yeah, so this is like an hour 45, 2 hours. If you know a lot about it already, not much new there.
Okay.
It's pretty base level. It's kind of an exploration of, here's like 3 different people who claim to have known someone who did it, and it kind of tries to like trace the probability of any of these people who say they know.
My cat is D.B. Cooper.
It's probably more likely than these people.
But yeah, so it's, as someone who didn't know a lot about it, I found it somewhat interesting, but I knew enough that it's like, they don't really talk much about the actual event itself.
Yeah.
It's more about these other people who claim to be about the...
That's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
Because the event itself is so intriguing to me.
It gets the straight to streaming for me. It does interview the pilots and the flight attendant who were on the plane. Those parts are really good because you get to like hear firsthand
like what they saw,
accounts of their interactions with him. Very, very cool. The only unsolved aerial
heist,
like hijacking in American history. Yeah. So.
I love the dude in the trailer with like a wizard coat on. He's like, I want to be a DB. Like, what?
What? And then the last thing I watched was another series on HBO, Murder on Middle Beach. This is a 4-part series, and I kind of mentioned it last week. Madison Humberg, I want to say is his name. His mom was the unfortunate victim of a homicide, unsolved, in Madison, Connecticut. And this is his, like, he's creating the documentary about it, and so he's spent 8 years kind of doing things, research and collecting information as part of like this kind of big project. It's
I feel
really
like that would be so difficult.
it's
to
his
do.
way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
And so the series kind of explores. It's 4 episodes. It explores a couple of the relatives that are potential suspects. Kind of in the eyes of either the police or himself
Okay.
or the media. And it's really very interesting. It's the final episode. There was a portion of it that just had my heart beating so fast because it's so personal to this kid.
Yeah.
I say kid, he's 24, 25, 27 now. I don't know how long it's been. But he's creating it, but he's also starring in it. He's doing interviews with family members about it. Family members who openly admit that, like, no, you shouldn't trust me. Like, you shouldn't trust anyone. It could have been anyone, it could have been anyone in our family because our family's so messed up. It definitely leaves room for more. But that's what one of the things in the last episode is really cool because it leaves you with like okay, I think I know who did it, but we don't have enough information. And then like
to make a case.
The title, like the thing is like in August of 2020, we got accepted by the Freedom of Information Act to get access to all these case files that we didn't have, that the police department was intentionally holding back from us. It's like, season 2, here we go.
Yeah, that's definitely going to carry on.
So that one gets a booyah for me.
Could you imagine doing like a film school project that just lasts
morphs into
and then it's going to possibly solve I assume a cold case at this point.
Yeah, that was one of the interesting things is that the police like said we haven't had any leads in years.
Oh wow.
But when they were like arguing for the release of these case files via the Freedom of Information Act, they're like, oh, it's still an ongoing case. And so like that debate, the debate in that room is really good. It's really intense. Well shot.
Wow.
So
yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I added it to my list to watch at some point.
Do it. Highly recommend.
Seems like there's some pretty good stuff on HBO Max. Nah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk more about HBO Max in a bit.
They're doing something right over there.
Tease.
So that's about all I did. What else do you got?
Oh, my iPad turned off. So
I'll go as you turn that on. Yeah, I raided with Brett. It was a lot of fun. We could have kept going, but it was very late into the night.
It got late.
What time did you guys finish up?
It was 12:30.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's people all over the United States.
Right.
Who
You got those
we're working
East Coast
in the morning.
Like, oh, I'm sorry.
But the only other thing that I did, because I really just played Destiny, was I finally finished the Queen's Gambit. I started it way back when, but then I got my Xbox.
Little distraction.
Just a small distraction. I've been playing it a bit.
A wee bit.
But that show is really good. It has a really, really good performance by Anya Taylor-Joy, who you talked about last week. And it
opposite capacity, but yes. I did talk about it last week.
Very different.
It's well written, has really good performances really all throughout. It has what's his name? Now I can't even remember. Harry Potter's brother. Dudley Dursley is in it.
Oh my gosh. Awesome.
What is his name?
I can't remember. In the show it's Harry Biltic, but it was fun to watch something that wasn't a normal sport. I mean, it's about chess. It's something you don't really think about.
Did you see that, like, chess sales are up?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it was, like, on Twitch, making a huge...
Yeah, it's, like, in the top streaming things now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Maybe we should play some chess on
No.
Twitch.
Down. I'll play.
All right.
I'll commentate.
Let's 1v1, Tyler. Let's go.
On Twitch? I'm down. Let's do it.
1v1 on Nuketown. Snipers only. So pawns only, I guess. Good luck.
I feel like you'd get rooks on.
Bishops only.
would work,
diagonals
though.
only.
That'd be miserable.
But yeah, it's really really good. I give it a fanboy worthy. I do think like 2 of the middle episodes, I really do feel like it kind of drags a bit. I feel like the series might be a little long.
How many episodes is it?
7,
Okay.
and they're all an hour.
Like a
Or
full,
longer,
I saw that
yeah.
like some of them are like an hour 5, hour
The last
10.
episode I think is like an hour 15. Yeah.
Nice.
The last episode I think the first episode and the last episode are the best. Which is good. But I think it has a really cool theme of overcoming personal adversity. Like she struggles with substance abuse and addiction, alcoholism, and I mean, she grew up in an orphanage and all this stuff, and to watch her overcome that is really cool. And I mean, yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy is super super good. Family
Sweet.
worthy. That's all I did.
Oh, sweet. My iPad turned off.
You gotta change the delay timer on
This
that.
is Dana's more than it is mine.
Just switch that bad boy on.
She's not gonna notice.
Oh, because she won't ever close it, and it'll just stay on all the time.
It will stay. It will go off at
All right,
15.
all right. I watched The
instead of 2.
Mandalorian, chapter 14.
Oh yeah, I watched that too. I forgot about it.
Watch that. That was, yep. Why?
Nailed it. Confirmed.
Yeah, I watched it. It was fun.
It was fine.
But yeah, it was shot like a YouTube video. I didn't know you had watched it when we were talking about it in the group chat. So I texted Brett, and I was like, Brett, I feel like this is shot so weird.
It was shot on a very low budget.
It looked like a Bat in the Sun, like beat 'em ups video.
Yeah.
To me, I was like, oh, this is weird.
It looked like they found a mountain, and we're like, we're gonna film it here.
We're gonna film a whole episode right here.
It reminded me a lot of
I was waiting
Robert
for the thumb guys
Rodriguez.
to come running out.
Robert Rodriguez's early work in terms of like it being a little more raw. I mean, even Alita to some degree is kind of this like frenetic, raw, handheld. And this kind of had that too, but I think just because of how they make this movie, it's not overly CGI'd, and they're in the volume, maybe that just doesn't work as well for that kind of shooting style. I don't know. I would agree with you guys though. It didn't
look great.
quite as polished as even some of the other smaller episodes.
Yeah.
I did like what they gave me.
Yeah.
though.
The content itself, the story itself was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it felt like they finally have strung together
Yeah.
2 episodes that are directly connected.
The end of this episode directly affected the beginning of the next episode.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Finally, we got some of that. So I also spent some time playing Destiny 2, as Brett mentioned.
Nice.
I did not raid. I was not quite ready. But hopefully in a week or 2 I will be.
We'll get you ready.
I finished Ready Player 2, the book, because there's not a movie yet, despite what some people seem to think. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It's fine. It's not as good as the first one. There's some. My best way to describe it is this was written to be a movie. So like, whereas in the first book, you know, they're playing cabinet games and they're having to beat high scores and do these specific Easter eggs in these old school games like Adventure. In this one, it's like they're fighting people who were famous from the 80s, and it's just written to be a movie. And then in the acknowledgments, Spielberg is acknowledged as someone who helped him with the book. I was like, okay,
Of course.
they're
Because-
writing the movie.
Because they're writing the movie.
Yeah, they're writing the movie. That's all this is.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you liked Ready Player 1, I think there's plenty to enjoy in Ready Player 2. But read it for yourself if you're interested. And then the big thing I did this week is, you guys remember when the Series X was coming out and they announced like dual entitlement and smart delivery and all these things? I got my first real, I guess I had Watch Dogs, but my first real dual entitlement update to Madden 21. And they've updated the player engine, so the way people move. Amazon Next Gen stats are now like on the game, and that's really cool. Weird. So like as the game's going on, it'll tell you how fast the player is running on that play and stuff like that.
Gosh. They've
changed the presentation, and it just looks like it has more life to it, which is really cool. They changed the play call system, which I still don't really like, but otherwise I think the update has been pretty good. I really enjoy the new graphics, enjoy the new gameplay. Visually it looks better, but it's not like, it doesn't blow me away. I think the colors pop a little more. I think player models look millions of points better. Overall, I look forward to seeing what they add. I think there's more coming.
Did the Metacritic go up?
I don't even look at it. They just need to really update franchise mode, and I think the Metacritic score would go up really fast. But we'll see. But that's pretty much all I did. I did start a new book, for those keeping score at home. I like murder mysteries, so I figured who better than to read an Agatha Christie book.
Classic.
So I'm reading a book that was published 100 years ago in 1920 called The Mysterious Affair at Styles. And it's the first Hercule Poirot book, which if you watched Murder on the Orient Express, or if you're going to watch Death on the Nile, he is the detective from those.
The very French detective?
He's Belgian.
The very Belgian detective is what I meant to say.
He's a waffle?
Kenneth Branagh is such a bad choice for that character. And like, what's so strange is the book's not even told through his perspective. So it's kind of like a Sherlock where it's told through Watson's perspective kind of thing. But yeah, that's all I did. Other than that, I just really played some stuff I've been playing. Played the holiday back. They changed that this year. It's pretty cool.
I have not even touched Apex.
Yeah, I was looking at my battle pass and I was like, oh boy, I should probably play that. I got enough for the next battle pass for free though, so I'm not worried about
good.
it.
Okay, well.
That's all I needed. Yeah. Ready to jump into some news?
Let's do it.
Should we jump into news?
Some news and some booze. No, I meant that as like bad though.
The first news of the week is that the Washington football team beat the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight.
Once again, you're welcome.
No longer undefeated.
The no longer undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. It's really hard to like react to something big in a game without like flexing. Like you guys are over there when it happened, and I was like, "Don't hurt yourself, Tyler. Don't do it." So yeah, I had to make sure to get that out of the way. If Leroy's watching, Cowboys still suck, man.
We're sorry. We wish it wasn't the case.
I'm not sorry, and I don't wish it wasn't the case.
No, I don't really care if it's the case or not. But
if you're a Cowboys
I'm still
fan,
sorry for you.
You would say the same thing to me. But no, the first real news story of the week, I think, is Wonder Woman 84 reactions are starting to come out on social media. I thought that would be good to note because some people don't like seeing that stuff.
So if you don't want to, mute your things on social media or just stay off it entirely. I mean, it's almost a month. No,
2 weeks.
19, 16, 17 days.
10 days.
Depending on when you listen to this, it's between 0 and
9 days.
18 days.
18 days.
25th.
Yeah, and it's the 7th.
Oh, okay, I'm a week off, yeah.
20 minus 2. It took me a while to get there, too. I'm not a math person. So
I don't know why I thought today was the 16th. I'm out of it. I'm extremely tired.
That's okay.
Once again.
So yeah, no, those are out there.
I'm just living in the future. Cyberpunk is great, guys.
Still very excited for.
Haven't slept in days
for that movie. I feel like I want to go into more, Warner Brothers things, but I want to say that for later.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that later.
There was also too a Wonder Woman trailer.
There was a new trailer.
CCXP. Yeah. It was the only thing that was released.
There's some screenshots from Suicide Squad as well.
But it was a weird Wonder Woman trailer.
Yeah.
It was like sad.
Yeah. It's really like sullen.
Get those emotions all stirred up and confused before you go into the theater or your living room.
It was just so odd. Like all the other trailers have been like uplifting and loud and colorful, and then this one I was like,
It's like this piano.
It's just showing like a
You're
ton
gonna
of...
be something special, Diana.
And then it shows like a whole bunch of struggle and like sadness, and I'm like, what is this? You nailed it. Basically, the whole trailer.
Luke may as well replace Gal.
Nah.
I think there might be an issue with that.
People might be upset.
People might overreact.
Yeah.
Or just react. It'd be a good reaction.
There would probably not be an overreaction.
No, it would be a good reaction.
It would be the appropriate.
It would be justified reaction.
Yes, exactly. Oh goodness. Okay, well,
white man replaces Israeli woman as Wonder Woman.
Oh dear. So over in gaming news, just because I fear we'll jump around today quite a bit.
Jump around.
We had a couple big names over at BioWare leave. Casey Hudson and Mark Dahara both kind of left just suddenly.
Did they leave or get fired?
Casey...
They got fired.
They got fired. They were asked to leave politely, is how that goes.
Leave politely or we will forgo your pension.
Yeah. So Casey Hudson was the BioWare general manager, and Mark Dahara was the Dragon Age executive producer. Dragon Age, which one are they on now?
4.
4? I was going to say 5, but 4
1, 2, and Origins, right?
Is slated to like come out in the next couple years.
Yeah, I think they just this year showed the
like the title card
that they were doing it.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, look at this environment.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you later. So it'll be very interesting to see how those games are affected. We don't really know why. That's kind of all hush hush.
Because their last 2 games blew it.
Both of their last 2 games had A titles.
I think honestly, when it's something like this, you have an executive producer and a studio manager. I think there's probably some culture problems that they're trying to address. Mm-hmm. I can't remember who it is over at they're also in BioWare, but he's in charge of kind of been in charge of rebooting Anthem, moving over to take
Dragon Age.
Mark's position as the lead executive producer over there.
I just feel like working for a game studio when you're that high up and you get moved from project to project could be so irritating.
Mm-hmm.
Especially going from Anthem to Dragon Age, like the aesthetic of those 2 things are so different, and you've probably been in this sci-fi headspace for so long, and you've probably been trying to find inspiration in all these things.
Now, welcome to this fantasy world.
We're going to take you to a medieval fantasy with wizards, and you're like, okay, well, better go start reading some other stuff.
Just closing up your Anthem Keeper Trapper, just like...
You take all your John Scalzi novels, and you're like, well, Jim Butcher it is. I go to somebody else.
The other interesting aspect of this is that we just had
Where you're asleep.
I'm scratching my arm. It's hard to reach.
We just had the announcement of the Mass Effect Remaster Collection. That's coming out soon.
Yeah,
so,
that's spring, isn't it?
Yeah, I think spring.
The good news, the game's already made.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's mostly handled by probably a different studio. Usually those remasters are.
Yeah.
They're just gonna run it through the 4K simulator.
Yeah, it's a simple button push, right?
Touch
That's how
it up
game
real
dev
quick.
works. Upgrade.
It's just rendering right now. Rendering.
Just takes 9 months to render.
Don't let the plug come out.
Some dude's just like
getting coffee, trips over extension cable.
Starts to fall asleep.
Luke, does this make you? You're the Anthem fan here. This has some repercussions for Anthem in that its producer got taken away. Are you hoping that means Anthem's in a good place and they're doing well enough that they can afford that, or does this spell doom for the inevitable reboot? Do you care at this point?
I care. I'd like to see that game be what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Just that game had like 30% amount of stuff of what it felt like it should have, which I feel like is also just a side effect of making a looter.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's more of a good sign than a bad sign. I feel like if he wasn't doing a good job, why would he get put on a bigger game?
Right.
Yeah.
That was my initial thought too.
Yeah.
That they've been working on this since December last year?
The reboot?
The reboot.
Oh.
Winter last year.
Winter last year, they kind of had a wintry event, and then after that, yeah, because that was like the last major update was like this winter event, and then they said after this event, the world is essentially just going to be static while we work on 2.0.
And then COVID was like, psych.
Try working from home. Most of them are probably in Canada. So
their last tweet was from August 4th.
Oh yeah, it's not like Anthem's been completely quiet.
No. I'm just that's a long time ago.
Oh yeah, they don't mention much.
Do you remember when it was like
they don't mention it often?
Forever.
I think they've had like 2 blog updates.
Yeah,
that they've posted.
They had one that looked really promising.
Yeah, they had a lot of images and they were showing the new
they
UI
reworked
and
the
format.
loot system too. Yeah, I remember we were looking at that one night. Interesting.
They need to put, it's what Destiny needs to do too. They need to put in a lot of in-game content that gives you a reason to play after the campaign.
Yep.
Like, just a seasonal activity isn't enough. Which is really what Destiny's problem felt like last year. There's a raid right now, so I guess we'll figure out if we're having the same problem with
once you
Beyond Light, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still excited for that to drop. I definitely won't be playing as much though. I love Destiny, and I'd rather play that.
Sounds good. What other news? What else you got?
I don't have. Oh, I guess it's kind of video game news. But our boy Oscar Isaac, willed himself into a role. He had an interview way back when. He was like, "I want to be Solid Snake."
And then he got Boss Logic.
And Boss Logic made a poster of him. Guess what? Announced this week he's going to be playing Solid Snake in a Metal Gear Solid movie. That is fantastic casting.
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid is one of the weirdest properties out there. And I believe it's Jordan Vogt Roberts directing. Isn't that the guy who did Kong Skull Island? Yeah. That'll be interesting. Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty is like one of the first games I ever beat. So I'm really curious to see what a movie.
Do you like remember what happened in it?
No.
That's me with Death Stranding. I'm just like, I don't know.
Did you ever beat that?
No. I need to go in and beat it. I really do. It's long though, is the problem.
Yeah.
It's the same problem I had with Red Dead.
Yeah, you'll get back on it and be like hooked.
Yeah. Dude, that game is addicting as crap.
I'll stay in the video game world. Shouldn't say we all.
Y'all.
A lot of people like Neil Druckmann.
Yeah.
He got a nice little promotion, it appears, to co-president of Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
He's done great for them. I'm not surprised by it.
Nope. I think that makes it's a very logical.
Yeah, it's the logical next step for him.
Yep.
He had kind of acted. He was pretty coy about what his next project was going to be. Kind of sounds like this is his next project, and finding someone to run their games is probably high up on his list right now. So
he has proven that he knows how to put teams together to make good games. He's proven to be a fantastic manager. Why not make him the manager of the studio, essentially, right?
Yep. Yeah, no, it's a good move for Naughty Dog.
Hopefully they
kill it.
Well, they make great stuff, and I'll never complain about that. But they have had an issue with
their culture problems are very prevalent.
Yeah, they have some.
They have like mandatory crunch.
Their crunch culture.
Dude, that chapter from Schreier's book, it was mostly about Druckmann. Crazy. But.
So, did any of you pre-order the 4K versions of Lord of the Rings?
No,
I got vetoed.
I asked for it for Christmas.
I like
I'm
just
hoping
bought.
it's coming, but I'm guessing it's not.
I like just bought the extended Blu-rays, so I will probably wait a bit.
I picked
just
them up,
a bit.
I picked them up on Black Friday. Like I had them in my hand, and Dana goes, "Do you want them?" And I was like, "I want the 4K version." And she goes, she had it in her hand. She goes, "Okay," and sets it back down. And then that's the last she said of it, other than no. So I don't know what's happening. Maybe I'm getting it for Christmas.
It's gonna be in your stocking.
Maybe. Well, interestingly enough, with resolution, much like video games, when you kind of upgrade things, it's not just an easy one button push.
You just let it render.
Especially with a movie or a trilogy that's as visual effects heavy as Lord of the Rings. Warner Brothers put out a little video with Peter Jackson, and he was talking about some of the changes they've made. It's reminiscent in the best kind of way of kind of what Lucas could never stop tinkering, right? This is I can't stop tinkering with the the color and the look of the shots, but he's not really changing the shots, which I'm very, very happy here.
He's not gonna add in McCulkey randomly.
Funky.
No McClunkies.
No subtitles.
Well, it was also interesting. He one of the things that really stood out to me that I really liked to hear was that he said it's not just about making it sharper. It's about preserving that film, the cinematic look, some of that grain that makes it look like a film. Chris Nolan will probably be proud
until it comes out on a streaming service.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm excited to hopefully get my hands on that soon. If anyone does get their hands on it and watches it, let me know how it looks before me. Otherwise, I'll report back.
I have one more gaming thing.
Go for it.
Two more gaming things. Do you have any gaming stuff left? I'll just knock them both out.
Yep.
The Game Awards are Thursday.
Yes.
The presenters that are being announced are pretty high-profile people.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty impressive. But also, we kind of have made a bunch of tongue-in-cheek jokes about Cyberpunk here, like the last, 77 years. There's a 43 gigabyte update on launch day, aside from the day one patch.
Oof.
So I think this game's bigger than they initially advertised it. I've heard the physical copies have 2 discs. I haven't seen a 2-disc game since like Final Fantasy VIII. So
I say one of the Castlevanias.
I thought Red Dead was 2 discs.
Was it?
360 had like 4 discs.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I bought it digitally.
I bought it digitally so Logan could play it.
Yeah, I don't know, but no, it's the reviews are out. If you're avoiding those, don't go read them, obviously. But yeah, there's a pretty big update on launch day.
Be prepared.
And there's a patch as well. I've seen that some people were able to download the game through the Xbox app on their phone, but they couldn't play it, obviously.
Yeah, so Xbox...
Even if you didn't buy it. Like, you didn't have to buy it. You could just install it.
Really?
Yeah. I think they've fixed it.
That may be just a bug with the preloading.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, man, I tried to go install it. Like, man,
didn't
I
work.
should get a head start on that. But, yeah, no, it didn't work. So,
darn.
But, no, Game Awards Thursday. I know a couple years ago we did a stream where we watched it. Probably not doing that this year. But
not this year.
Definitely tune in. They're a lot of fun. And there's always some really cool trailers. And
maybe what is it, Thursday? What do I have going on Thursday? I don't think I have anything going on Thursday. Maybe I'll just I'll fire up Twitch and stream along with them.
And play while you're watching
Play
it.
while I'm watching
Yeah.
it. You can have a conversation.
We'll raid it.
We'll raid. I can't focus on rating and Game Awards, Luke.
I'm just ready to see what new trailers and stuff come out of it. Any predictions? Any predictions?
Gosh, this year is so tough because some of the things I think I'd normally say, like normally I would say, oh, Halo Infinite, but we already know we're not getting it. They've already addressed that. They said no Halo Infinite trailer at Game Awards. So I just don't know.
Forbidden West.
That'll be one of the high-profile ones, I bet. That's closer than I think we realize, especially because it's cross-gen, isn't it?
Yeah,
coming on PS4 and
cross-gen.
PS5.
God of War? Really, still too early for that.
I think that's Or they're back. Diablo 4 is what I'm expecting to see.
More stuff from Arcane?
Maybe. I know they have that collection out.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who you guys having winning?
Game of the year?
Who do I have winning and who do I want to win?
Answer both.
Okay.
Last of Us will win.
I think Ghost of Tsushima will win, and I want Hades to win.
Actually, I've seen a lot of people in the industry talking about Hades.
Dude, it's so freaking good.
So I could see Hades winning.
I
mean, all those games are good. So
I would really like Last of Us Part 2 to win.
Dude,
it is a fantastic game. I love that game. It's my game of the year so far. It's also like one of the two I've played. But I think I'd rather see it win just so I can watch people.
I was gonna say I want to see the firestorm on Twitter. That would become
yeah, that'd be fun.
People don't like that game because of one decision in it, not because it's a bad game.
Yeah.
I just want to see the fire in their eyes when.
Dude, did you see the people going crazy about it today? Because
people are already going
Cyberpunk
crazy.
got a 9 from IGN. Spoilers if you didn't want to see that. And they were like, "But you gave The Last of Us 2 a 10? Are you kidding me?"
2 is a fantastic game.
It's like, dude, why are people so upset? Like a 9 is great.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic score.
Calm down, buddy.
But no, I'm excited for the Game Awards. Who's your pick for you think will win and who you want to win?
I think Last of Us will win, and I would like Hades to win, even though I haven't played it. I haven't played either of those.
I want Last of Us to win, but I think Ghost of Tsushima is going to win because it's an original game. I think that helps.
You don't think it'll be Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1?
Okay. Part 1?
if Final Fantasy...
There's 2 remakes in the category, isn't there? Is there a second one?
Animal Crossing, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghosts, Hades, Last of Us.
Yeah,
okay.
If Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 of 7 wins Game of the Year, I might never play a video game again. I think I will legitimately be mad. I think that's like I know people worked on that game, but that's like insulting to people that are making original stuff.
Yeah. No, the whole remake thing, like especially that, because it's only a part of it. Put it up for Game of the Year when all 3 parts are out.
Yeah.
And it's a collective thing.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's the word remake on it.
It's like when Resident Evil 2 was nominated or whatever.
It's like when A Star is Born was nominated for Best Picture, and I was like, congratulations, it's the 4th one.
Yeah.
It's the same movie every time. You did nothing new. And it wasn't that good. That is one of the most overrated movies I've ever seen.
Hot takes from Luke. I love it.
Just a little tangent there.
What other hot takes you have about news?
Christopher Nolan's a little butthead.
Are we ready to move
No,
in?
no, I have other stuff
Okay.
still.
Okay.
Yeah, you were asking for hot takes.
I did. This is fair.
The other thing that I have was Hawkeye started filming.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
It is now confirmed Haley Steinfeld is Kate Bishop.
They danced around that so much.
So much.
It's kind of just say, yeah, she's playing Kate Bishop. No big deal. People would have been like, good choice.
Yeah.
You know what we're doing now?
It's not a controversial choice.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Everybody. It's like the Fallout meme where it just has the.
Everyone liked
that.
Yeah.
Literally nobody has a problem with it.
Nope.
It's great casting.
Yep. Yeah.
Agreed.
That's all I have. That was the last thing.
I saw a screenshot from Falcon and Winter Soldier as well of Bucky on a motorcycle. His arm design is so dope from Wakanda. It looks so good. I'm excited about it.
Just want WandaVision to come out.
January 15th?
Yeah, January.
I need some MCU goodies.
I'm just ready to see where they're headed.
Just want to eat the MCU stuff.
All right,
well,
I'll kick off the HBO thing. You want to kick it off? You got it.
No. I mean, now I've lost it. I had a segue.
What kind of lead-in do you need?
No, you said.
I just want to eat those HBO goodies. No,
I just
those
want to know
MCU
what
goodies.
direction they're going.
I'll tell you how you can eat some of those HBO or some of those Warner Brother goodies.
Oh, he crushed it.
Nope, that was awful. Stream over. I'm ending it. Goodbye.
Hey, hold on. Don't do that.
Okay, I'm coming back.
Hey, it's our show now. Oh, crap, he's back. It's a Luke and Tyler show.
I'll just go manage. It's fine.
No.
I'm producing.
Don't know what we're doing.
You can't produce with water in your cup. That's not how producing works. Dude, come back over.
Tell them about the thing.
I don't want to.
HBO went out of business, and Brett can't take it.
What is happening?
What am I gonna watch?
Brett's going rogue right now.
Oh God.
Please.
Okay,
Sure
you
that
know
was
the
water?
show can't function without you, Brett.
Yeah, we don't know how to do all this stuff.
Fine, you just push the end
We'll go
button.
back to recording in front of one mic.
It's gonna cut for 10 seconds, and come back and be like eating the firefly or something.
Yeah, so
I would never eat next
we
week.
got the big news, the big
Holding the ring.
industry shattering news that HBO Max will will premiere Warner Bros. 2021 films alongside their theatrical releases. So
released it.
day on day, when a film comes out, it's going to be in theaters where it can be, and where theaters aren't open, aka the US, it's going to be on HBO Max because HBO Max is only in America right now. So,
And on the tail end of this, there's been some ripple effects in the stock market.
yeah.
Cinemark is stocked. Their stock is down 21%. AMC stock is down 17%. And IMAX is down 7.3%. So for all you investors, that doesn't look very good.
It's such a big, complicated topic. To give a little more clarity into how the deal works, it'll be in theaters as it usually is in theaters. It'll have a 7 to
Theatrical
10 week theatrical run, however long it's deemed necessary. Whereas on HBO, from the day it comes out, it will be on the service for 31 days. You have 31 days to watch it before it goes away. At that point, you will not be able to watch it on the service. You will not be able to rent it anywhere until it comes back out for rental and then purchase, weeks down the road. I don't know what that timetable is. They haven't really talked more about that. But so there is still some profit sharing issues that kind of like what Tyler was talking about, how, who gets what. Apparently AMC has negotiated a bit better of a deal for Wonder Woman here in December, where usually it's like a 60-40 split in favor of Warner. They've kind of flipped that, and apparently now it's a 60-40 in favor of AMC in terms of revenue. But yeah, a lot of people aren't happy about this. I guess the big question is,
A lot of those Hollywood schlubs aren't happy about this. Get out of here.
Well,
we're watching here.
There's an interesting discussion here around this. Are we looking at, is this COVID may be the first or the second real stone, but are we looking at the end of the sinking of the ship when it comes to the movie theaters in the U.S. or worldwide even?
No,
absolutely not. The little theater, mom and dad's theater, yeah, probably.
Yep.
If it hadn't been closed already.
Yeah.
Those most likely won't survive. Even like here in Wichita,
like the downtown
Old
Warren.
Town Warren is gonzo. It's not going to be able to survive after this.
Right. Yeah.
But no, theaters will be back. They're going to take a big hit. But you cannot tell me that people don't like going to the theater when Avengers Endgame was sold out for like a month straight.
Yeah.
Worldwide, I saw that movie in a different country.
Yeah.
And it was packed. Probably overpacked. I wouldn't be surprised if they oversold and people are like just sitting in the aisle. It was gnarly. People love the movie theater experience. And you do not get that at home.
No.
I think to piggyback on that, I don't think theaters are going anywhere. I agree that the smaller theaters will. I think if anything comes from this that is a huge impact will be, I think the format of screenings will change, like how long movies are in theaters, especially if this sticks after 2021.
Yeah.
I think that will be the biggest effect of this. I don't think theaters are going anywhere. Personally, I prefer to watch movies in IMAX if I can.
Yeah.
Yes.
But given the circumstances that we're in, and you know, movies sitting forever, it's time to finally watch some of these. And if that means I have to watch it at home, I'll watch it at home. That's fine. But I the only thing I see changing, they will take a hit, absolutely. But I think just the amount of screens might change, or the amount of time movies are in theaters will change. That will be the biggest. The theater's new normal will be different than what we're used to.
Yeah, it's interesting. Kind of looking at the films that are coming out. There's 17 that are going to be affected by this, starting with Wonder Woman here in December, and then going all the way through their 2021 calendar lineup. There's probably like 4 or 5 that I would be like,
I'm glad that
it makes
now.
it like those are movies that are like their money making capabilities are really on the big screen. Your Wonder Woman's, maybe Godzilla, Suicide Squad.
If it's a decent film or just a lot of fun and it's a big IP blockbuster, it can make close to $1 billion.
Yeah.
Which the studio, and they split that, so like 400.
Sure, you're not getting it, but when you offset that compared to like how they're doing it, they're not charging additional revenue for people to watch this. Or they're not charging an additional cost for people to watch this on HBO Max. They're just getting that monthly subscription of $15 a month, right? So when you think about it that way, 17 movies, 12 months, that's $15 a ticket, and you assume there's maybe a few more people than just one per account.
Yeah,
that makes sense. It's not necessarily a winning game in terms of numbers. Now, if this proves to pull in 50 million subscribers, it won't. Then that's a huge win for them.
Yeah.
But more likely, you're going to get people who sign up for a month, and then once they watch Wonder Woman, we'll cancel it. You'll get a few that just kind of hang on to it, but you're going to end up with, I don't think from a business model standpoint, it really makes sense long term to do this for every film, full stop. I think you're going to see a little more picking and choosing. You're going to have films like Judas
and the
Black Messiah. That movie might do this kind of this dual thing in the future if they can negotiate revenue stuff. Now, all this to say, Warner Brothers has said that this is a 1-year thing only.
Mm-hmm.
There's absolutely a valid criticism there with, like, once the genie's out of the bottle, how do you put him back in? Yeah? I get that.
Just gotta wish for him to be free, baby.
But I think what we're hearing, Luke, you mentioned this earlier with Nolan, but if creatives don't like your distribution model and how you pay them or how you show their movies, they won't make movies for you. They will find other places. Now, Netflix has kind of proven that you can still bring talent into like a streaming only model. That said, I don't think that's typically where most people would go first.
Yeah, it's not. If you're Nolan, that's not where you want to be.
No,
for certain. But
so I do think there's this. I understand the concerns people have. I too am maybe slightly concerned with some of the optics around how this was kind of announced and launched. But in the long term, I think it makes sense from an industry standpoint. You have to keep making money in order to pay people money. I mean, we're seeing people getting laid off right and left still. It's not like we're through this, and it's not going to magically get better on January 1st, 2021.
And we should say, the U.S. is in the thick of it right now.
Yeah.
The only place that HBO
Max exists.
HBO Max exists is in the United States. And some theaters are open in the United States. Like AMC's are open.
Yeah,
kind of.
like rent.
I don't know.
Theater.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
Regal's closed,
Mm-hmm.
but who knows what this holds for next year? Regal just said they were closing through 2020 and then they were going to reevaluate.
Yeah.
I mean, but worldwide theaters are still open.
Right.
Yeah, this literally affects no one outside of America. And, like, we like to think we're the center of the universe. And there is, admittedly, a large percentage of revenue from movies
the box office
comes from America.
Yeah.
Like, that's fair. But, that, like, the Chinese box office is easily and quickly becoming more important than the American box office. And not all of these are going to those theaters because of how they have distribution set up. It's really weird. But I do think this is a stopgap solution that I am more or less happy with.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of reacted in the group chat pretty positively to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to this. Like, you know, it was super concerning. One of my in-laws' family traditions is to go to the movies on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's been something that I've learned to love over the years. And this year that isn't possible for us. When this was announced, I was like, cool, now we can all sit around and watch Soul together. Or we can watch Wonder Woman together.
Yeah.
You know, you can still have your, you know, for some families, your Christmas tradition. And I think that's a huge win just from a personal standpoint. And I know I'm not the only person who does that. There's a lot of families that do that.
Yeah.
Just in the lowest level of all of this.
Yeah.
I just think that's so cool that Warner Brothers was willing to step out on a limb and make that choice.
But yeah, there was some bite back, especially from Legendary.
So Legendary Pictures, they co-produce a number of films with Warner. They're kind of the small man on the totem pole in terms of, they're not a small studio by any means, but they're not one of the bigger ones. They're not Paramount even or Lionsgate. So,
and I don't know if there's more, but they're co-producing or co-financing, whatever the word is, Dune and Kong vs. Godzilla. Is there any more than that? I don't think so.
Maybe there's only maybe one more.
Tom and Jerry?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, Legendary is actually suing Warner Bros. Over their decision of no consultation.
Yeah, so that's something else that I would
that's
criticize.
Kinda what you talked
here.
Which I think that's an extremely valid reason. They Warner Bros. Should have been talking to everybody.
Yeah.
Or at least told them first, like, listen, we're gonna do this. And we're gonna listen to what you have to say, but it might not affect our decision.
Yeah.
But what do you have to say about us releasing stuff on HBO Max? Oh, well, I don't like it. We might need to renegotiate our split of profits or whatever that is.
Well,
that's my Legendary studio exec voice.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. That's definitely however all of them sound.
Yeah, just like it.
I believe, and I'm sorry for not having this pulled up right in front of me, but I think one of their concerns was that they didn't have, as co-financers, they wanted the option to be able to shop Godzilla to different distributors, right? So they could have tried to sell it to, you know...
They did try to sell it to Netflix.
Yeah.
Warner said no.
Yeah, that's it. Right. So that's complicated when you're talking about all of a sudden that revenue is completely gone, right? Because Warner doesn't have to buy it from itself. Yeah. So whereas they would have split that revenue on selling it to a third party, now all of a sudden they're not getting anything out of that. That's a very complicated deal. Which I'm glad I'm not a lawyer in Hollywood, but
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that'd be beautiful, brutal.
It'd be like falling hard on a big pole right in between the gonads.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how this impacts HBO Max's subscriber count.
Yeah,
they're under 10 million at this point.
That's gonna go.
Which it'll be interesting to see if that tops up. I just don't know if the content that they're throwing out there is gonna bring in. I mean, Disney Plus is at what, like 60 million? That's a year old.
Yeah.
Disney Plus is incredibly successful. I don't think they can maybe compete with that, But if they can get another 20 million, if they can get it up 30, 35 million subscribers, I think that's for the year. That's a win, I think, for them.
What's crazy is
without it being a thing where it's like, oh, we have to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Right.
And like we even talked about this with Mulan, where we were trying to figure out how much money they would make if it cost $30. A movie, let's say you go to a movie by yourself, IMAX screening, normal movie, I don't know. It's probably going to be around $15.
Right.
HBO Max is $15 a month. So you pay for Wonder Woman, essentially.
Yeah.
And then you can watch anything else on there for the rest of the month.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Here, they have a schedule. Then in March is really when everything kind of starts kicking off. Tom and Jerry. In April, there's Reminiscence, which I think, is that the Tom Hanks movie? Godzilla vs. Kong in May. Conjuring in June. In the Heights in June. Space Jam in July.
Space Jam. That one.
The Suicide Squad in August. Dune in October. Oh, I thought that was in November.
Hey,
and then
yeah, that's right.
Matrix 4 in December. And then there's 5 other movies that don't have a date. I imagine those might be in the beginning of the year when there's
sprinkled in.
That little spring, winter spring hump.
Like, there's 15 movies here. $15 a month for them. Like, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Plus, you would get everything else at HBO. You can watch Game of Thrones finally. The Wire finally.
Or Westworld, or any of the, or all the DC stuff, all the shows.
Yeah.
If you wanted to watch those, there's a lot of stuff.
I mean, it's my primary streaming service right now.
As
proven by
you
my
can watch all those
3.
cult classics like Brett does.
Yeah.
Cult docs.
The cult docs.
Yeah, this is a huge shakeup for the industry. I'm excited to see how others follow suit.
Do we think that's my next question? Who else do we see doing this? Is there anyone else doing this?
The first thing I thought of when this happened was, what if other studios do it? What studios are most likely? Which is exactly what you're asking. Sorry.
Is Disney the only other one with their actual own streaming service?
Yeah. Okay. I wondered, I feel like Sony is one that might jump in on this kind of thing, but I don't know how.
So Sony's in that kind of unique,
because they don't make box office.
I feel like they would just sell their movie to the highest bidder.
Yeah, I think that's what they would do. And
Monster Hunter, who wants it? Sold for $5 to Netflix.
The movie that I question
That's
though
Sony?
is the Bond movie. Because that's MGM, isn't it? And Sony?
MGM and Sony. Yeah, and that was already...
And Disney's not going to put that on there.
I think it was already... Was it floated at Apple? I think Apple may have either tried... I think Apple tried to get it. Then they said no. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go back and revisit and say, okay, we're willing to give this to you at a smaller cost, but we'll also do this release in theaters type thing.
I know that a lot of the Bond movies are on Peacock and on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And it's really been a rotator on Amazon Prime. There's always like 10 on there at once.
Yeah.
I feel like Prime is the most likely
Prime will
choice for
probably
that movie.
overpay for something and won't even blink an eye because they make so much money.
Right. Yeah, because they're just going up financially.
Prime's that one that is kind of the dark horse of like, yeah, we got unlimited money. We don't make a ton of our own. I mean, they make a decent amount of original content, but not a ton.
They buy a lot of stuff.
They buy a lot of stuff.
Like The Expanse. Mm-hmm. Like they bought The Expanse and then they did what? They're doing 2 seasons total of it. Mm-hmm. And the budget... 3 total?
Last season, this current season, and
next they did last season. I didn't realize they did the last one. But, yeah.
I don't think any studio, though, is going to go all in like Warner Brothers.
Oh.
I think it's going to be pick and choose and sell to different bidders, except for Disney, who obviously they're not going to sell their stuff to anyone else. It's just going to be on the shelf until they're ready.
Yeah. I wonder if Black Widow falls into this, too, now. I wonder if they'll wait and see how Wonder Woman does.
I think they will definitely wait and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be... very unsurprised if Warner's kind of reverts back, talks to producers, directors, creators, like, listen, we will release your movie in theaters, but it has to come out on HBO Max the same day. Otherwise, it's gonna just get delayed, and it probably won't do good the longer it gets delayed.
There's a point in which it doesn't make sense for it to just keep sitting on the shelf.
Like we were talking before the show, Wonder Woman's been on shelf for 2 years now.
And how long have we been talking about how the hype died off for that movie? Because
you know what?
Of that.
They announced it for HBO Max, and it's back. It's back. I'm excited for that movie. Yeah. People are talking about it. People are getting excited.
When I forgot about Black Widow, honestly, until you mentioned it, I was like,
some people still want to. Some people are trying to forget about it.
Were WandaVision and Winter Soldier and Hawkeye or Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I couldn't remember the name earlier. I did the same thing.
Like, I'm more excited for those than I am for Black Widow at this point, just because it's been sitting so long. Yep. And so I think at some point it makes sense to be like, okay, here's a big-ish movie. You know, we'll throw it in on our streaming service for a limited time, get people to come in. When you have the opportunity, we'll do our best to get it on the big screen. I think that's the thing people keep forgetting, is that this makes sense as a preventative measure of studios dying.
Like a buffer,
right? Like,
if Warner goes out of business, you will not see hardly anything on TV anymore.
And look, Warner's not in that much danger.
Oh, no.
They're not in that much danger. But
somebody like Legendary probably could be.
Yeah. Legendary, Lionsgate, heck, even
is Lionsgate still a thing?
Even Sony, I worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't do it.
You know, the thing with Sony is that they are backed by another huge corporation, but AT&T is backing Warner. That's why I'm not terribly worried about them. That said, they still do have to have revenue to pay employees to create new things. And if you're not actively selling something, you're not actively getting money to pay those people to make new things.
Yeah, and if these studios fold, think of all the crazy awesome stuff that's being written in these quarantines right now that we'll never see.
Mm-hmm. And I just kind of thought about this. This is like a totally different angle. What is, like, a complaint that often comes out is like, oh, you know what, that movie was really good, but nobody went to see it. You literally have immunity from that argument now.
Yeah.
If it's just like, oh, we're in the middle of a pandemic, we threw it on HBO Max and threw it out internationally. It didn't really have the chance to make money, but it's got a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's your Blade Runner critique.
Yeah.
I also think that people see.
It's like a little small pop.
This is not an attempt at any sort of dig on any service or creator. It's gonna sound like a dig, but I know that I
want to dig Christopher Nolan.
Were I to try and create something, it wouldn't be shopped. Let me put it this way: Netflix is the most likely person to pick up anything I create, right? But there tends to be a difference in quality between something that's developed for streaming and something that's developed for big screen. And I don't think all of a sudden people are just going to be willing to settle for only streaming level quality things. And again, it's not meant as a dig. It's just that budgets are usually smaller on those because they don't make as much money.
Right.
Were that true, Netflix would actually make money and not be spending billions of dollars that they don't have. So we will, like we said, the return of theaters will still be around. We will have to look at how the theater system works, I think, in the future to prevent something like this from happening again. In the midst of a national or international worldwide pandemic, what do you do to save those kinds of things? Some of them you just can't. Whether or not Warner Media released all these things on HBO is not going to affect every individual theater. There are going to be, like we said earlier, some theaters that are they're doomed. I'm sorry. Like, without relief at some level from someone, either, I mean, you can petition personally, go buy gift cards for your, that's fine. If that's available, do it. If the government has some funds for relief, we can try and take advantage of those, but unfortunately, we're just not in a society that really values that as much, or at least our government officials don't value that as much.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do think
the writing was on the wall, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Whether or not
we all knew this
HBO
was
Max
coming.
thing was happening.
Yeah, we all knew this was coming one way or the other.
I hope too this whole experience can kind of give a little kick in the rear to theaters, because there's I feel like been a lot of complaints just about the theater experience. It can be pretty rough sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
And like a lot of people, I feel like just over the past 3 years, unless it was an Avengers movie, people are like, I'll just wait.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think my parents have seen less and less, fewer movies year to year over the past probably 5 years than when we were in high school and you're home over the holidays for college. It's easy to just be like, "Hey, mom, come." I don't know. Is that weird that I went to go see movies with my parents?
Absolutely not.
We saw movies with your parents.
They pay for them. So.
Yeah, we did. We saw movies with your parents.
That's right.
I just remember the trailer during the tourney and that spider showed up and your mom was like, "Ah!"
Dude,
it's like my favorite part of the whole movie. That was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
Dark Waters. Watch it.
Man, yeah. Oh man.
Should have bought that one.
Mark Ruffalo. I watched another Mark Ruffalo thing recently. What was it?
I need to watch Spotlight.
Zodiac. That's a great movie.
I need to watch that.
I feel like I watched a Mark Ruffalo. What did I not? I didn't review it.
The Avengers. Thor Ragnarok. Avengers Age of Ultron.
No.
Avengers Endgame.
In any case.
Probably Infinity War.
Darn it.
Any other thoughts on?
Question.
Yes.
I'm just curious. Out of all these movies, if you picked one to see in theaters, which one?
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Oh no, I take that back. Retraction. Dune.
Dune. Yeah. I also retract Wonder Woman. I keep forgetting Dune.
I know, right?
Do you know what's crazy? I would love to see Dune in IMAX. I think this is a crazy answer. This might be odd. This might be my HBO hot take. I think for me, it's actually Kong vs. Godzilla. That movie's gonna rely on IMAX.
Yeah.
That might be the only good part of it.
Who's directing?
Dune will be good.
But
the dude who did Blair Witch, I think.
Okay. Very different.
not. Yeah.
Wow.
Like like one of the best parts about Godzilla King of the Monsters or whatever that thing was called was just the sheer scale and size of the giant monster fights, and it looked good on an IMAX screen.
Yeah, visually that movie looks cool.
It's what gets you through the movie, and having that constrained down so low, I feel like would really hurt it, and then so it just be a bad movie. Like instead of hey, it's not a very good movie, but I had a lot of fun watching it. It's just like no, it's a bad movie. Dune's gonna be good. But
regardless of how you see it.
I'd still though.
I just think
Dune on IMAX.
I think what
okay, hold on. Sorry.
What informs that for me is after reading Dune, the scale of some of the stuff in that book is gonna be wild in IMAX.
Yeah.
It would be Dune or Wonder Woman for me.
The other thing is too, here in like a week, UK is getting a vaccine. Is starting up. So who even knows where this thing is going to be at October next year? What about that?
I think the earliest we go down that rabbit hole, the earliest we would see any of that would be summer.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure US will still be in shambles or whatever. Or maybe we'll be the best spot, and the vaccine is the start for this. I'll be apocalypse.
We'll still be yelling at each other about masks.
Yeah, inevitably, right?
Probably.
Somehow we'll still be talking.
We'll
about
be
that
on our
June.
third revote probably at that point.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's transition over to our Fanbox question.
Dope
questions. We have a couple.
Nick.
Talk
about one of them. Oh, this one.
Over on Twitter asks, I finished the trail. Oh, so this is a Destiny 2 related question. So you're lost. Sorry. I'm not going to explain everything that happens. I've finished
in the beginning of
the
Destiny.
trail of the hunted mission and found out the Crow has been revived as a guardian with no memory. What if all guardians are people who have committed atrocities in their past lives, and the traveler revived them to seek atonement?
Yo, I think that's super sick. You never even think about it. Like, I guess the only real understanding of somebody with a past, two understandings of past we have, is the Crow. I don't know if I should say who he is or not, and Anna Bray.
I know who.
Because she researched who she was.
She was, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, she has pretty messed up family legacy. So does the stranger. Definitely the Crow. So I think that is a very interesting theory of like, oh, maybe the traveler's picking up all these people that were
just terrible,
pretty bad blokes that are like, here's a chance to redeem.
I just read a book called The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. And basically what they do, huge spoilers for this book. If you are like a criminal, you get put in like basically a mind prison, and you're trapped there until you either rehabilitate by solving the case. It's usually like a murder. So they rehabilitate you by making you solve the case by living in other people's perspectives. Or you stay there so long that you forget who you were. And then you're put back into society.
Interesting.
That's wild.
And that's kind of the same idea.
When is that going to be a Netflix series?
Soon. I'm sure.
I'm interested.
Yeah, no, it's an insane concept. But that's kind of what I think about when I read this. I was like, that's kind of that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if that is like really a thing at some point.
I also love the theory that at the very end of Destiny, we're eventually going to die, go back in time, and we're our ghost.
Oh,
like reviving
you become
ourselves.
your ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it certainly is an interesting theory. At one time there was kind of plans to have the opening of Destiny not be quite so linear. Like you could respawn in different guardians would start the game in different places. Basically, that was scrapped. It was very ambitious, and it was scrapped quite early.
Wow, that would have been nuts.
I know, right? But that kind of idea of it doesn't necessarily right now we all wake up in the Cosmodrome with no idea of who we are, and it's an easy way to make a character vessel. But if there were other implications of who we were, I think that would be interesting. I think we'll see a little more about things like that with some of the exos this season. There's a whole chapter in my new Grimoire book here on Cade. And if you know some of his history, it's pretty interesting.
I also just think two of my characters are awoken. Probably
relevant.
Queen Mara's a pretty relevant character, and while she's good, she does some pretty sleight of hand, sneaky stuff a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, the Awoken are fascinating.
Awoken equals elves from Lord of the Rings. They're awesome. Exos are also extremely cool. Humans suck.
Okay.
Bad lore.
I think that was
no lore.
Great question. Thank you, Nick.
That could become like a full.
That could be a whole Grimoire book.
Right. Stephanie.
It's a choose your own adventure book. You gotta choose the best story of your guardian.
Stephanie from upstairs asks a question about about the Mandalorian. So this has spoilers pertaining to season 2, episode 5. So not this current one, but the one
13
before, chapter 13. So get out now if you haven't watched it. You don't want to know. And we did kind of talk about this last week, but I figured we could mention again. What do you think of the reveal of the child's name, which is Grogu? Would you give him a different name, or do you think it's perfect?
I'm great with it. I don't know if it's perfect. I don't know how to name a green alien. I mean, I wasn't like when they said it. I wasn't like ugh.
Yeah, I didn't.
But it wasn't like yes. This is the most perfect. It was good.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it.
I think. Yeah, I didn't have like any reaction to it. I was like, well, at least it's not Yoda 2 or something.
It's not gross.
It's not Yaddle.
It's not Groda.
Yaddle.
Yeah.
I like how they just kind of erased Yaddle from. She's still in the movies, but like, even Ahsoka. More spoilers. I assume if you're still around, you don't mind. Ahsoka was just like, I've only met one of this species before, and Yaddle's like, on the High Council.
Am I a joke to you?
Oh man. Yeah, I didn't really have any reaction to it. I'm fine with the name.
Just glad he has a name now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know if it's a cute name, but
Yoda's not a cute name
Yoda's
either.
not a cute name either. I think it fits for kind of their species. I guess is that speciesist of me if it's like
You're canceled.
you gotta have a name that fits your species, otherwise
Christopher Nolan's about to get canceled.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he will.
he's got a bigger cult fan base than Snyder.
That's not true.
That is not true.
He doesn't have as passionate of a fan base.
He'll get Twitter canceled for like 2 days and then he'll be fine.
He doesn't even have a Twitter. He
Then
doesn't
the
care.
Snyder cult will resuscitate his career and bring him in.
Then HBO is going to be like, you want to come make a TV show for us? And you'll be like, okay.
I'd be like, is it about the making of the Snyder Cut? Why do we devolve to the Snyder Cut?
Every episode we have to at least pay our
Some
dues.
sort of joke about it.
It's like a weekly sacrifice.
You said pay our dues.
Are we a cult?
Is that something from your cult? Yeah.
Maybe we are. Did you guys have see any other Fanbox questions? I didn't see any in Twitter. Yeah, thank you for those questions, Stephanie and Nick. We are wrapping up here. Any other final thoughts before we sign off for the night? The week, gentlemen?
Calm down, Christopher Nolan. Calm down.
I do think if you are
Sorry people didn't like your movie.
To circle back to the HBO news, the HBO Max news, if you're like legit concerned about this, I think I don't want to be dismissive of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to vote with your wallet. I think you need to be.
It's very true. You can't complain about movie theaters going if you never go.
If you never go to the theater, if you have the opportunity to support a local theater in a way that's safe, whether that's pre-purchasing gift cards or if they have the ability to do private screenings or whatever, like I definitely recommend taking advantage of those. Like we just don't have that around here. Like AMC has private screenings, but they're pretty expensive. And sorry, I don't care to go watch New Mutants.
I also just really don't like the AMC theater.
No, the sound in the AMC theater is crazy ridiculous.
I can't fit my legs on their required recliners. They're like skinnier than my computer.
But
not a fan.
Also, like I think we'll see quite a bit of vocal pushback from creatives over the next couple months about like, hey, this isn't how we want things to be. But my guess is that they'll play nice. Christopher Nolan maybe has enough clout to not play nice.
Yeah.
But I think most creatives will be like, look, we know this is a temporary thing and we expect it to be a temporary thing or we're not going to work with you in the future. No. And if they're being, how do I want to say this?
Cooperative.
Like raise the promote those voices if there's being kosher about it or whatever that word is.
If they're handling it in a mature fashion.
If they're being immature about it and they're throwing a fit.
Don't
encourage that because that's not the kind of
that's not conducive to any kind of success.
Right. But if they are being like if you agree with that point of view, support them via, retweeting and sharing and voicing support and you need to let the studios know that this should only be temporary.
I trust Patty Jenkins.
Oh yeah,
and she's going with it.
Her director's cut episode is so
yeah.
Sorry.
It's so good.
It is. It
I
is.
trust Patty Jenkins.
She was so anti this prior.
She was really holding out for theaters, but you know what? I think Warner was just like, listen.
I bet they sat her down in a room and was like, hey, this is the situation. What do you want to do? And she probably agreed to do it.
Yeah. But at some point, you're still excited for your movie, no matter where it's coming out at, right? If the studio's saying you don't have a choice, it's coming out now, you're still going to be excited about it. You're still going to be promoting it, like.
Yeah, I think my final thought is Warner probably could have done better about telling their creators this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And partners.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
But other than that, I think this is fine.
I would agree. Thanks for the hot takes, boys. Gentlemen, men.
Go Hades.
We will see you next week. If you're hurting for some more content, you can hit out our YouTube channel or just go over to whatthefanboy.com.
Congress Godzilla going to be over 85% around.
Find all of our links there.
2021 prediction in the book. We got to do our predictions soon.
We do need to do predictions soon. Coming up.
I've been thinking. I already wrote one down. I said it last week and I claimed it.
Okay.
That was a big one. You should write that one down.
Oh, heck no. If I want to lose, yeah. Oh, maybe I'll keep it. That is pretty bold. Maybe that'll be my... No,
you need to have a couple bold ones.
I got to redo my episode 10 one. I was going back on.
Actually, we may hear more about Star Wars stuff this week.
To Wednesday?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Same day as Game Awards is Disney's shareholder.
That is going to be a hell of a day. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So next week we may have even more news to talk about. But until then, let's sign off. We'll see ya. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Did it work?
I don't know.
I don't think it worked.
I think...